Hi. Can I get a small Coke with no ice?
A small what?
Coke with no ice.
Yeah. $1.48.
Thank you.
Here. You want your receipt?
I don't think I need it, but I'll take it just in case. Never know, do you?
Here you go. Do you think it'll be busy?
Thank you. The straws are where?
Oh, it's over there, ma'am, on that thing right there.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
My sister and I had called you and we had talked to you, discussed things with you about some problems we were having with Sheriff Cassie.
Oh, yeah.
And you sent us to Chris Dugan.
Yeah. Now you just need to walk.
Yes, sir. We have got absolutely nowhere. In the meantime, my mother passed away. My brother hid my mother. I had to file missing person reports with the Sheriff's Department, who threatened me if I filed another missing persons report, I would be arrested. When the day my mother died, they went down to my parents' house and started cleaning out everything.
Who's that?
My brother, my sister.
Okay,
I called the police.
I remember you telling me that as well.
I called the police. They come out, wouldn't do a thing. My brother went down to the courthouse and filed a phony will with JRL. Okay. The day we were all supposed to meet at the courthouse on a Monday. When my sister and I went out to get in the car to go, my son's truck tires, my car tires, and my sister's tire was all cut.
Was that reported?
Yes, it's reported in Charlotte. There was damage.
So this happened in Charlotte?
I live in Charlotte.
I understand. But what I'm trying to, wouldn't he have filed the will in
No, my parents live in Union County.
I understand. So that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't he have? But you went to the courthouse in Charlotte, not to the courthouse?
No, we had an appointment. The police had to finally run him out of the house on a Friday. We were to be at the courthouse on Monday when we went out to get in the car, all our tires. We called JRL, my sister did, and asked could it be postponed because of what happened. His answer was it wasn't my problem. Okay, so from the word go, this has just been one little incident after another. Well, come to find out, I found out why. Why is my sister-in-law is Sheriff Cassie's wife's cousin. Nobody could figure out. Judge Higdon couldn't figure out. Nobody could figure out why all this was going on. And Judge Higdon said to me, who do these people know? Or how deep is their pocket? I didn't have the answer then. I have researched for over 3 years, and I have the answer. My parents' house is 508 Backham Dees Road. It has been sitting there 3 years. No, I have not had access. No, nobody's had access that I know of. The grass is up over the roof. Nothing's been done on the estate. I go to see J.R. Rowell about it. Joe P. McCullen is the administrator. Well, he hasn't done nothing either. But he did go in that house a few weeks later and have Hall's auction come in with no family members there. Take everything out, and everything did not show up at Hall auction. He didn't want nobody in there. I had to buy the family Bible back. I had to buy my son's first fishing pole that his daddy bought him that lost to cancer. I have gotten nowhere. I have gotten nowhere. Oh, I did get Chris Dugan. He did tell me that he couldn't go against J.R. or Sheriff Kathy or none of the judges, or he'd be out of business. I do have that. But it's not right. Nobody should have to. It's hard enough losing.
I agree. I'm trying to think of what... Yeah, as you talk, more is coming back. It's been a while.
Yes, sir.
And I've been, as always, we've all been busy.
Yes, sir.
I don't offer being busy as an excuse.
No. I know how it is. I've been busy too. I've been collecting every piece of evidence. I have been collecting documents. I have been collecting everything. I have been to the FBI. They were Sheriff Kathy stops anything from being that even been investigated. Nothing. And when I talked to you and my sister, you said, I know things are really messed up down here. That you get calls, you get 4 to 5 calls each week about the things that's going on down there in that sheriff's office and other things. Well, Mr. Horn, it's an election year. Somebody's got to stand up. It's not right for the people of Union County. It's not right for me. It's not right for anybody this to happen to.
I agree. Like I said, I'm trying to figure out what I can do.
We need your people to stand up. Stand up and tell what's going on and tell the problems. It's just not right. Nobody should have to go through. I know. I went to J.R. Rowell. Do you know, I don't even know what happened to my mother. My mother's face was bashed in, crushed. Her right side of her face was just crushed in. My mother had bruises. Not bruises from after you passed away, because I've been in the healthcare field for almost 30 years. They had already turned. My mother had her padded, the mortuary, from here, padded, here, all the way down to her knees. I've never seen that. I've never heard of it, and I've talked to many people about it. I have asked J.R. Rowell. I had asked Chris Dugan. I had asked them. I want the medical records. I want to know what happened to my mother. And do you know what J.R. Rowell says to me? What's it matter? She's still dead. You're not getting them. So that tells me they're protecting the family members that had the hand in it.
Well,
I have a right to know what happened to my mother.
I agree.
And it's been over 3 years, Mr. Horn.
Yeah, I know it's been a while.
And I do not know what happened to my mother. And I don't think anybody in this country would put up with that.
And nor should.
I asked him. His mother, J.R. Rowell's mother's name is Estelle. I asked him, I said, would you put up with not knowing what happened to your mother? He said, absolutely not. But that's a different matter, it's you. Now that is no way to talk to people.
No, I agree. And it's, I want to tell you, it's really very surprising to hear about JR in those terms, because I've never had anyone else ever say to me that they have had that kind of an experience with him. But, you know,
I know they have. I know people that have, and his attitude is, it's my way, you do what I say, and that's it. I mean, he's got problems. He's got problems. Just look at the state audit that's been done every year. I have every one of the state audits. There's been problems with every one of them. It's just nobody is paying attention. Nobody seems to care. You know, why rush? Why rush to take everything out of somebody's house and steal? They stole what they wanted, and then everything else is dumped. The taxes hasn't been paid. No, I don't have the key. I have no condition what that house is in.
Did your mother have a will?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of the will?
Nope. It's down there at the court. My brother, here's what happened. My brother presented a phony will. Okay? The will that he took down there after Mr. Rao wouldn't postpone were when the tax was cut. He later found out, a couple of weeks later, that the will my brother presented was not a valid will. So he calls us all back in. He asks for the letters back. Well, he rescinds the letters, but he never asked for them back. My brother's still running around with those same letters, a testament that he gave him. Does that make sense to you? J.R. Rao should know that. You know, I'm really upset that to become a clerk of court, you just have to have the votes. You don't have to have the knowledge, and that is wrong.
Well, it's not just there, it's everywhere. People like me, we don't have to know anything. We're get out shaking up hands and smile pretty, and we're elected. I should be elected.
But we hope and we pray that you're there to do the right thing. I mean, you could have a college degree in politics. Look what's happened in Washington. I mean,
everywhere. Believe me, I understand. I didn't go to college. I just joined the military right out of high school. But anyway, that's not getting your problem solved. I'm trying to figure out what to do.
I thought
that maybe Chris Dugan could have been of some help to you. Obviously not.
He wanted the money, and then he asked for $10,000 more after he made that statement to get rid of Joe P. McCullen. But he can't get rid of Ralph. Joe McCullen has not spoke to me to this day, not by phone or anything. You think my parents stuffed to serve and have to sign a family Bible? Do you think that's right?
Where is your mother's house located?
508 Balcom East Road. I wish you'd see it. And I have pictures, and I have video.
That's why, remember I said I thought that I was going to have, that I'd ask Dean Arp to call you.
Yeah.
The reason is, now, it's, again, stuff's coming back to me. Dean Arp lives on Balcom East Road.
Then he should see that and know the house
and
situation.
So he should be aware. Let's see what number.
There's no taxes been paid on the house. There's no nothing. I don't know what they've done with anything, what they sold, and there's a lot of things that I've got photographs, I've got documents that my brother and sister stole out of the house. I've got police reports, which I can't even get a copy of my police report. Brian Helms was supposed to investigate. Christian said he's not going to investigate. The sheriff's not going to let him. So it sounds to me between the courthouse, the attorneys, and the sheriff running the show. Or if he wants...
Well, there's no question that Sheriff Cathy has a lot of power and influence.
But he's using it in the wrong reason.
And if that's so, then he needs to be held accountable for it.
He sure does.
And I agree with you completely that, that's got to be determined. And I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I've only lived here a short time. I moved here in 2005. I'm pretty new. I don't know that many people, actually. But that doesn't mean I can't try to figure out what to do.
Since 2005, even living here that long, you have to know an awful lot that's going on that is wrong. And believe me, there is a lot more people than me.
Well, generally speaking, there's 100. I always, I don't believe in only in single circumstances. Things happen. If somebody's doing a bad thing and they get away with it, they'll do another bad thing.
Push the limit. And that's exactly what
human
it is.
nature.
Do you know, when I went down there and I called the sheriff's department to come down there, as Barbara and Riley at the administration office told me to do, and said, go down there and take a course. Do you know, I have videos. I learned to start videoing those deputies and everything because of I have video where my sister's son-in-law and the sheriff deputies are lined up right in front of me, pulled his pants down, and stuck his butt out at me, and his pants are so far down that those sheriff's deputies had to be looking at his penis and stood there and laughed and did nothing. You know what Sheriff Cathy said to me when I took the picture to him? I understand this is an old family greeting. Do I look like somebody? I'm a Christian woman. That even if somebody said that to your wife or one of your daughters, you would have.
Of course. What I need you to do, I need you to sit down and write this stuff. I need some names, and I won't be spreading it around. I need to think through what advice to give you and who to turn to. Because as I sit here, I don't have an answer for you. And I'm not necessarily saying that I agree with every conclusion that you're coming to. I don't know yet. But I'm not a guy that just goes off on a whim. I try and do my homework. And I'll give you good advice. I don't want to mislead you. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to send you to somebody that is not going to be able to help.
I'm not paying another line.
I agree with you.
I mean,
what I'm thinking about, have you had any conversation with the district attorney's office?
They won't talk to me.
Well,
I've been to the SBI from Governor Perdue's office. I've been all the way through Deborah at Governor Perdue's office. She helped me. She set up an appointment. Well, she tried to get Roy Cooper, who said no. I think that's his only answer is no when it comes to a big problem, unless it's something that he wants to. A package of ketchup won't open correctly or something. And then she said I went and met with Mr. Underwood and Mr. Blackman at the SBI agent up there. Went and talked to them. They sent me back. I filled out all the reports. Just given Brian Helm's name as the investigator. And then he told Chris Dugan, Sheriff Cathy didn't want him to call me, and he wasn't calling. Nobody. There's 19 felonies there. 19 felonies that I have proof of. And that's a sheriff that will not do his job. He refuses to do his job because it involves some family members of him. Cousins. Well, everybody has cousins. I'm sorry, but I don't cut.
Well, it doesn't cut it with me either. Well, I need to sound writing this stuff down in some kind of order. Don't give me 10 pages. Give me a page. Let me think it through. I can't promise you anything other than effort. I never promise results because I can't guarantee results. But I can figure out who we've talked to. and try to get you some help.
Well, in my opinion, the help that we need is we need Sheriff Cathy removed out of the sheriff's department and somebody put in there that isn't capable of doing it.
And that you may be right.
He's had too many mess ups with the Department of Social Services, with a lot of other things.
Well, his predecessor didn't do any better, and I don't know who else we're going to get, but that doesn't mean so people are held. Everyone should be held accountable for their actions. Everyone. And Sheriff Cathy, like JR, like me, we have to be held accountable. I agree with that completely. But you know, and I know, there's more to every story. No matter what story somebody gives you, there's more to every story. I don't know what the more is. I don't know what the more is to JR's story or to Sheriff Cathy's story or to anybody else's story. I got to try and figure that out. And I start with giving me some information on paper. I'm not going to share it with anybody but me, but it gives me something to refer to because I've got lots of things to do all at the same time.
But I am going to share. I am going to put it out on social media because people need to know that. I am, because what I've got documents.
The reason I said I'm not going to share it is I would never put you or anyone else in a position without your permission. I wouldn't share. I would say, oh, Gloria said this, John said that, Pete said the other. No. I don't. You say whatever you want to say, to whomever you want to say it. But I will never do it for you without your permission. I just don't do that.
Well, I wanted to get with you because I know you know there's problems. I know that you hear it all the time. And I know that these problems need to be cleared up because they're only getting deeper, and it's going to...
The only admonishment I want to give you is you need to understand when I asked you what you want to talk about, it would have been helpful if you had told me what you want to talk about so I could be thinking about it. For anybody, I get a lot of people who want to talk to me. If somebody doesn't tell me what we're going to talk about, most of the time, I'm not going to come and talk to them. I got too much else to do. You need to give me a hint. Now, for some reason, I agreed to come and talk to you. I can't tell you how much help I could be. I thought I was helped before, but apparently I was not. But just telling you, if I called you out of the clear blue and said I want to talk to you, you'd say, what do you want to talk about? I'd say, I don't want to tell you. You're going to say, well, then why should I meet with you? So be a fair man.
I will.
But you won't have to worry about that again.
I just felt like that I would rather say I'm a face-to-face person and discuss this.
So I would rather do business face-to-face as well. That's the kind of person I am as well. I don't like doing business on a telephone or looking for my I have a card someplace. I just don't know what I did with it. Oh, here it is.
I don't like seeing people hurt.
I don't either. That's why I'm doing it.
You have a family, you have grandkids, and I know you want a legacy a lot better than what we can leave, what we've had to endure. I know you want better. Everybody wants better for their children. But we've got to make it better.
Well, that's my job. That's the job I'm trying to do. I'm not very good at it, but I'm trying.
Well, I mean, and it seems utterly ridiculous to me that we can't even get to the Attorney General.
Well, the Attorney General is too busy running for governor. And he's only interested in things that are going to help him run for governor. That's my opinion.
Well, you know, I'm sorry, but him neglecting his job is not going to help him.
Well, I'm not running for anything, so... I'll do what I can do.
My point that I wanted to get across to you, and I guess to see you in all of this, was it's hard enough losing, and I was a widow at 38 years old from cancer, raised my son, our son by herself. It's hard enough to lose somebody, but to be put through this, be put through this is just totally unridiculous. It's uncalled for. It is no excuse for it in the world. They are laws on the books for as far as the states and other, and they're not being followed. I have papers from the Union County Tax Office where my dad passed away at 7:15 on April the 3rd. On April the 2nd, April the 3rd, my father went in the tax office down at the government center. Well, you have to show identification to get in, Mr. Horn. You have to sign a book to get in. And went upstairs and had his name removed off the house. Now, how did my dad do that? I already have the documentations from the government center that my brother was one. And, of course, there's a sign-in book. I mean, it's easy. You have to show your driver's license. There's a sign-in book. There's cameras up. I mean, that wasn't a no-brainer to get that. My father certainly didn't do that. And there's a lot of other things.
I can't. Well, I'm asking you to write this up for me to help me out with my memory because I'm dealing with a lot of different things. And let me think this through. Let me think it through and figure out which way to turn. So I give you good advice. That's the best I can do at this point. I've got to drive to. I'm going to Raleigh from here. Well, I'm going to go home and get my clothes. And go
oh no, you were going to rest this week.
So,
you were going to rest.
No time to rest.
Is everything not wrapped up there yet?
Well, we're finished with session, but we made a mess of some things, and I'm trying to get it straightened out. So I've got a meeting tomorrow with the Secretary of Commerce and some others trying to figure out what to do on a couple of issues that were not properly resolved. So the governor's thinking about calling us back into special session. I don't want to do that. If we can figure out how to solve the problem without special session, why should we do that? It just costs more money and adds more confusion. The more people stick their fingers in stuff, the more confusing it gets. And we got way too many people now that think they know everything about everything.
And it's our way or the highway.
That's exactly right.
And that's what's going on down in Union County. I have been told I needed to go back to Charlotte where I belong. I have by Sheriff Cathy, by J.R. I mean, it's too bad. You're going to do what it is. And when I get around to it, but that house is sitting down there and the taxes hasn't been paid on it.
Well,
no funds. I don't know where the funds is. I don't know where the stuff is.
All right. The only other person I'm going to talk to right away is Dean Art, Representative Dean Art, who lives on Balcom Dees Road.
Yeah, please have him to take a look at that.
I shall.
It's a disgrace.
Well, I'm sorry I don't have an immediate answer for you, but I suspect you knew I wasn't going to have an immediate answer for you.
No, I guess what I was really wanting was someone to admit there is problems. There's problems in that sheriff's department. There's problems in that courthouse. There's problems in the justice system. There's problems in investigating normal, standard proceeding things that should not be a problem. They are big problems in there.
I don't argue with you, but that's what I know. One of the other people I might talk to is a former judge. I feel that that's a person I can talk to. But first, I need you to write this up for me so that I don't want to mislead, I don't want to misrepresent anything. As you know, what you say is not always what I hear. And what I say is not always what you hear, because we're human beings. We don't always get it right.
And I do well on documents, because the documents speak volumes, because it's not me saying, you saying, it's in black and white, and it is a document.
I will try my best. I will try my best. I don't owe anybody anything. So I don't have anybody. I just want to make sure we do what we're supposed to do, every one of us, and we're accountable for our actions.
Nobody should owe anybody anything. I mean, nobody. It's about the law, and the laws are on the books. I hate to think that we have laws written, and they're totally ignored because you've wasted your time. A lot of people have wasted their time voting for people, voting for laws, and they're just, nope, it's my law. And I'm sure you know as well as I do that Union County is considering the Good Old Boys Club.
I do know that for
you
sure.
cannot hardly even get an attorney to talk to you about a case in Monroe or taking a case in Monroe, Union County. And why? It's a closed county. They don't like outsiders. You're wasting your time. I mean, I've heard it all. I mean, last time I checked, we all lived in America, and, we have rights and freedom.
Yeah, it's supposed to be that way.
But, if you would like to check me out, I don't even have as much as a parking ticket. I have obeyed the law all my life, and I thought that's the way you teach your children to obey the law. You teach your children that if somebody's bothering them, ask them to go to a teacher or go find a police officer or go to a store. We need to retrain our children.
I agree.
Because that's not the safest place to go. And it shouldn't be like that.
I agree.
And I'm just so disheartened. And not just in this country.
It isn't the way I grew up.
Not the way I grew up either.
I'll try. I will try. I don't deliver my promises I can't deliver on. So I will try. That I can promise. How far I'm going to get, I don't know.
Would you be willing to come out and make a statement about the problems in the...
Well, I would at the right time with the right information. Yes.
You have a lot of information, I'm sure, on a lot of things.
Well, I have some, and I need to make sure my facts are correct.
I can give you the facts. I mean, I can't see going down the road 4 more years like we're going. Something's got to change. I mean, they're either going to end up in jail, or they're going to end up being eventually put out of office. And all the ones that stood by them and defended them are going to just be in that much more trouble also. And they got a lot of that. They cover for each other.
Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Thank you, Mr. Horn, for meeting with me.
I'll try my best.
Okay.
All right.
I look forward to it. I'll get this written up and get it to you as quickly as I can. How would you like me to send it to you? Would you like me to send it by mail, fax, or...
Well, don't fax it to me.
You don't like... Okay. You don't like the fax. I'll put it in the mail.
I've got a fax machine, but I don't have the number on there. I don't even remember what the number is.
That's okay. I'll send it to you by mail. Okay. It was nice to meet you. Again, have a safe trip to Raleigh. I hope you feel better.
I'm just tired. I'm really tired.
That's what I said about a week ago. That I was so tired. I just couldn't figure out why I was so tired. And then I started having the pounding in the top of my head, and my blood pressure was 279 over 189. But that was my first symptoms, is that I was so tired.
Well, I don't want to get sick. I don't have time to be sick.
Well, that's what I say too, but unfortunately, that doesn't always happen at our convenience. It's always at our... It's always at our inconvenience that this happens.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Horn.
How you doing?
There you go.